Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Kino and welcome once again to Kaylapolis. Now as you can see behind me we've got my farm, which I think's amazing and I can't wait to show you. However today we're going to be looking out at my survival base. This is the first introduction to Kaylapolis properly and the stuff I've done previously. As you can see from my base, I've put a lot of time and effort into this and a lot of attention to detail. There's loads of different building styles and they all serve a purpose with AFK farms and redstone builds, and I can't wait to show you them all. But today I'm going to show you how it wasn't always like this and how I've developed my building skills. Because in early game you don't have a lot of materials, so it wasn't like this to start with, and if you join me in the past I will show you. Welcome to Kaylapolis in 2017. Now, as you can see, the clear difference, the buildings are very early game. There's no real detail in there, and the materials used are very basic. There's lots of sparse opening areas that haven't really got a purpose. And this is fine, because this is how the game starts. And until we get the materials we need, this is how we build. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop into the magic water and I'll show you just how my base began. Because this is where it is. We've even got a white bed, we've got a few furnaces, a little bit of storage up here, and downstairs we've got a small storage room that houses the small amount of materials I've got. Easy access to the mines, a small enchanting area, and outside we've got some animal pens that are extremely basic because they're just fences. We've got our first wood farm and a terribly basic barn. But as we flip over to the future, we can see just how it's changed because there's so much more detail and so many more buildings. Even if we take a short walk across Kaylapolis, and I'll put the pictures side by side so you can see just how much it's changed. Now, the first thing you'll notice, and the most obvious thing, is the attention to detail. The small walls, the lampposts, and even every single flower being placed perfectly to give the impression that this is lived in. The barn has gone from being extremely basic to a little bit more detailed, and even where the old base was, now stands a train station and a bridge across a river that wasn't there. As we look back across towards what used to be a farm, we now see the dock. But this isn't what I want to show you. I want to show you this. My main base. This is an underground base and it was designed for a later game. As we go across this quite quaint little garden, you'll see just how the design pans out. It's a single block off the floor in wood, housing the glass for the underground base. Now, I can't take all the credit for this design because the outside is actually a picture that was shown to me by my daughter. She handed it to me and she said, Daddy, I want this base. So guess what? I copied the outside. That being said, I would love to give the person credit, so if anybody knows, please do drop a comment. Everything else is mine. All of the lighting outside, the block pallets outside, and this entrance that we're going down now is my design. Every single room I have designed meticulously and for a purpose. So this first room is the bedroom with all the memorabilia of the places we've been and the things we've had to go. This first bed is my daughter's with a fish tank, and mine is a simple one with the Ender Dragon head above it to show I'm the boss. My son wants to be a little more difficult, so we made a secret room just behind this picture. And for those eagle-eyed of you, you'll see that Baby Yoda's on the side, and I'll show you guys how to make paintings like this using maps in a later video. But as we move over to the next room, this is a good one because this is our map room. And our map room is great because it shows all of the things I've done around this world. This first map in the middle is actually Kaylapolis, and this is where we are now. All of the smaller maps are various outposts and bases and bastions that I've built over the years around the world that I hope to show you guys in a later video, and I hope you join me for those. So these are just a little snippet of where we're going. The next room's the enchanting room. As we've got the enchanting table in the middle, we wanted to give it a library feel. So we just put some basic flowers and books down, and we've got this three-way soul sand fireplace, which, if we switch these two levers, quite cleverly, now turns to a normal fireplace. This is just a simple redstone piston design and one that I can show you guys quite easily later. Here we've got plenty of storage for our enchanted books. And if we turn this back over to the blue, because I happen to quite like that, it's my favourite, we can leave this room and go on to the armoury. Now the armoury is a place that initially just housed all of the weapons that I took off the mobs and the armour. And we've got some basic storage underneath. But I decided to spruce it up and make it into an armoury with lots of display stands and the anvil to make it feel like it's got a purpose with the bars. Now, it also houses our first secret. And if we open this small trapdoor here and we press this button, it opens an emergency exit to get in and out of the base. Now, we don't need this as much anymore these days, now that the mob mechanics have changed. We don't really have a problem with mobs spawning in the base. But it's a pretty cool entrance and exit, and it does give me a chance to show off the barbecue and the boathouse that I'm going to show you guys later. So as we head back down here through the secret passage into the main base, it just works on a simple button that pushes the automatic piston door. And we're heading to the final room, which is the most amazing. And it's the most amazing because from the outside, it looks like a normal kitchen. And this is going to be an area where I imagine that everybody that lives here would socialise and eat and just generally be happy. But what it does do at the flick of a button is it changes. And we press this button on the floor here, and immediately out comes a secret staircase. And if we head down to this staircase, making sure that we shut it behind us so that nobody follows us, it holds some of the best mysteries in the game. Because this is my vault. And I've given it a feel of a deep, dark place with the red floor and the lava to make it feel slightly sinister. As you'll notice, round the edge you'll see all these levers. Now these levers make up a combination, which can be changed. And for today, if we open this far one on the right here, and we open this far one here, this actually opens the door to the main vault. Just like a bank vault, this stores all of my most precious items. Now I know this wouldn't work in a multiplayer kingdom because it would be quite easy to get into and get griefed. But if that was the case, I would change these just for ender chests and just keep the feel of it. But I quite like it, it's pretty cool, and it also makes me feel better that everything's secure. So if we lock it all up and the door will shut behind us, like so, we can leave the vault and head back upstairs where nobody will know that this is ever down here once we shut the door. So we press this button to come back up. And this takes us back into the kitchen. And like magic, one more button and the floor is back. Like magic. And guys, that is my main survival base. Now what I just want to show you here is just something that I have learned over the years that I feel make my builds a little bit more special and a little bit better. So we're going to head over to my design world. And in my design world, which I have just to play around and tinker with some ideas, which I think most Minecraft builders have, we're going to look at this stone wall. And this is how I could have built my base. However, it is quite boring and quite bland. So using colour palette, we just mix it up and change a few blocks. So here I've gone for stone blocks. I'm just going to pop in and just add them here and there to give it a bit of depth and a bit of feel. You can leave it at this, but if you want to push the boat out like I do, we'll throw a bit of cobblestone in here and there. Maybe we'll go for 2 or 3 bits just to give it a bit of life and a bit more colour and a bit more texture. And again, you can leave it here, but if you really want to make it flashy, we'll put in a bit of andesite, patch here, patch there, and that should finish that wall off lovely. Obviously, that looks a million times better already, but once you add vines and flowers and hanging baskets and fences and lamps to it, that wall looks a million times better than where we started. Plus, if you really want to push the boat out and you're looking for a damaged feel, you can add some staircases in here and there just to give it some real 3D depth and make it look a bit special. If we head back to my base, you can see how I've done that round here. And I think that looks amazing. Now, if you've learned something from this video and you've enjoyed Kaylapolis and you want to see some more, please do like, follow and share. I have got an amazing project coming out next week. So build like no one's watching, and I'll catch you all soon.